really have no idea what is happening with this little bump in my hair, and I'm over it. Hello my YouTube beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be playing around with the NATASHA DENONA Mini Sunset Palette. This is $25. I got it off of Sephora, and this is supposed to be a mini version of her larger sunset eyeshadow palette. I wanted to give it a try and see if I like the formula. I have not tried NATASHA DENONA palettes at all. I have no idea how they perform. I think that spending $200 on a palette is ridiculous. So I figured that the NATASHA DENONA Mini Sunset Palette would be a great opportunity to try out some of her shadows without breaking the bank. Here's the eyeshadow look that I came up with. You're just gonna have to watch to see whether I think that NATASHA DENONA eyeshadows are worth it or not. And yeah, let's just get into the video. I'm very excited to play around with this NATASHA DENONA palette. I have not used any of her shadows for a particular reason. They are just way too expensive. I think her big palettes are like 200 something. That is just insane. I would never spend that on a palette. So when I saw that she came out with a little mini size palette that was $25, I was like, yes, I can do that. I did put a base on my eyes. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, and this does not extend the wear time of shadows or make them apply any differently. It's just to give a base for the shadow. This is much smaller than I thought. It is a very small palette. Online they made it look so much larger, but I guess that's what you get for $25 when it is NATASHA DENONA. But I like that you can see through the packaging to see each color. These are definitely the kind of colors that I would wear. I do think that the packaging is just a little cheap feeling. It is definitely plastic. This kind of packaging is what you could find at the drugstore, so I wish you would have stepped it up just a little bit in that arena. But here are the shades. They are gorgeous. I think this would be a really good palette for any of you guys that love warm eyeshadow shades. I want to go in a little bit with this shade right here. It is just a neutral orange shade, just to see like if it shows up at all. I have heard great things about her mattes, and I have heard even greater things about her shimmers. All right, that blended very nicely. When I'm dipping my brush in, I'm not noticing much fallout of the shade, which means that they're not too creamy. This is a really pretty transition shade. I do think that you are able to travel with this palette and use it just by itself. There are definitely some palettes out there that you cannot do an entire look with that palette. So I do think that you can achieve that with this. I am having to build this orange shade up just a bit in my crease. All right, now that I have that shade on, I'm going to go in with the other matte shade right here. It's a dark brown, and start putting that in my outer V. That brown shade does not have a lot of fallout either. That is a very pretty brown shade. You can really dip your brush in multiple times and not have to worry about grabbing too much product. This brown is much more pigmented than the orange shade. Immediately, I love this brown shade. That is gorgeous. Let's try this shade. I'm gonna take this gold on my finger. That's just because that's like how I like to apply eyeshadows. And immediately, it's not like blowing me away. The eyeshadow formula is a lot harder than I thought. I thought it was gonna be like very, very soft and almost like fall apart when you touch it. All right, so this is more of like an orange shade. All right, so far the shimmers are not blowing me away. I actually feel like I'm having to build it up quite a bit to get the color to show. I think it's a really pretty shade, and I like the glitters in it, but I'm having to add more product to my finger quite a few times. All right, I mean, I think it's okay. I would definitely not pay full price for that sunset palette that she brought out. I'm going to take that brown again and put it on my lower lash line with a stiff liner brush. I'm kind of bummed. I thought that I would like the shimmers a bit more. And I get that this is a mini palette. I don't know if the formula is different than her normal palettes. I'm going to take this orange shade right here and blend out that lower lash line. I'm going to go finish my eyes and put some mascara on, and I'll be right back. Here is the final eye look. I'm definitely gonna have to keep playing around with this palette. I think that it looks really nice. I think that I just went in with higher expectations than what the palette delivered. I really hope that in this actual Sunset palette or in her bigger palettes that these shimmer shades are much better. Yes, like it looks nice, but it took a while to build up, and like I said, for the price point, it should not be that way. The shimmer shades are just okay at this point. Based on this first impression and of this little mini palette, I do not think that the bigger palettes are worth the money. So that is my first impression on the Natasha Denona mini Sunset palette. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on my future videos, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!